All right, in this video, we're going to look at now adding new objects to the game. We have a player, we have walls, and that's all we have. So our player moves around and there's walls, but we like to have other things. We like to have keys, um, weapons, ammunition, health improvements like power-ups. Um, we might also want to have predators, monsters, moving objects that are enemies, things like that. So here's how you get that started. So first we look at the player. We've created this already. It's noted some, but just to go over it, here's how we do it. At the top of the code, we created a class called player. Right here, this is going to create our player. This player is what is going to happen when the player is created for the first time. Okay. He's going to have the size width 40, height 40, so he's going to be a square right now. His image is going to be Pygame surface 40 by 40, so that means it's going to be what he looks like is going to be that square rectangle image. His color is blue. You must always have this where you say self.image.getRect. That gets a rectangle around whatever the image, even when we put pictures in for the images. And then its location on the screen. We picked the center of the screen for our player. He's width divided by 2, height divided by 2. So that's where he's going to appear on the screen. These are also some characteristics of the player as he starts. So he is going to have some kind of X and Y speed, right now set equal to 0, and he's going to be located in a room. All right. So this will allow our player to eventually have movement. Now in the update section, so this is the update part of our code, as you see by def update here. This is where we actually do the things every time you see the code that says all sprites.update. This will update the player. So 60 frames per second would update him 60 times per second. So this initially sets his speed at 0. This would actually give him the ability to move. This would be if you press the left, if you press the right, if you press the up, if you press the down, what's going to happen. This rec here is dealing with if the player would go off the screen. So here we're talking about if we went greater than the width, less than 0, if we went to the bottom, if we went to the top of the screen. So all of this right here deals with what if the player went off the screen because of movement. And then down here, this would actually move the player. You have plus equals self speed X plus equals self speed Y. So this is the actual movement itself. Okay, so that goes over what the player is all about. Now, we want to create an object like a key. So when we go in here and we're going to create the key, the first thing that we would obviously do is change this name right here to key. All right, we might have 10 different keys in the game, so we might have a black key, a white key, a red key, a blue key. But right now, for now, this would just change this name right here to key. Now, you also would want to change the size. So I probably want to make this smaller. So these two right here would probably reduce in size. We would make that a little bit smaller. I would want to change, not that it's a rectangle, we might as well leave that the same, but we might want to change its color. So again, make this some color, like for example, since I'm using red now, we would change this to capital red, and that would make the object, when it came to life, a red rectangle. All right, we will keep this the same. This, again, always has to be there, so that has to stay the same. Its location on the screen, I think I would change this, maybe randomize it, or put something simple now with 2 numbers. Make sure it's just on the dimensions of the screen. The key is not going to move, so we do not need this, and we do not need this. Now, we probably would not need this right here at all. However, we will locate it but our location is going to be based on where the player room number is. So we don't need the room counter for the key. So if you copied and pasted the player code, changed this to key, made these simple changes, you are now prepared to have a key. The key also at this point would not need an update as it is not going to change whenever the key comes into the game. It will not move, it will just sit in a room and stay in that location. So this ends the first video on how to actually create key. The next thing we'll talk about is how to put the key into the game and make sure that it appears in a room and not every room.